So being from Latin Lords, you knew all the different car clubs back then
Oh
that
yeah.
started way back then.
Oh
But
yeah.
being a photographer, you locked in with all the different car clubs.
Oh yeah.
So you
Exactly.
became neutral to everybody.
Exactly. And that's the way I am now. I'm driving solo, but I know everybody from all the car clubs, even LA. They give me a come on, hang out with us, sit with us.
I
You know,
want to
not,
get on his I
oh
want to get
yeah,
on his database to ask you,
yeah,
can you take a picture of us by the
yeah.
car?
Oh yeah, all the
Because they
time,
want to have it up there on the
all the
website,
time.
of
And
course.
I will never turn down a photo op if somebody asks for it. Never, never, never.
What's going on, everybody? I am Joe Ray, and this is the Wire Down Show. Before we get into our latest episode, we want to give a shout out to our proud sponsor, Power Master Performance, alternators and starters. Go to powermasterperformance.com. Today's episode, we have a special guest. He has a database of lowrider car show archives dating back since 1999 at a La Puente car show and picnic, all the way up until now. You can go onto his website, One Bad Pup. He's going to introduce himself to you right now. But if you ever want to go back to the old days when things were a lot more innocent than they are today and check out the rides back then and all the different colors, things haven't changed so much, but you'll be able to tell, and he knows about it because he had his eye behind the lens. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the low riding fan base.
Hi, I'm Alex Navarro, onebadpup.com. I've been shooting for s- I started archiving since like 99, but it's been before that. So if anybody knows what it was like to take pictures back in that early age, we started with dial-up.
Right.
There was no, the internet was so slow, and taking a picture 35 millimeters, I mean, you earned your stripes when you had to upload them to the internet and then get them on your computer and then put them online. So I'm kind of proud of the stuff I did back in the days, you know. And like I said, I do it for the love of the game, love of the sport, you know, the lowrider family, the lowrider culture. You know, it's beautiful. If for the outside people outside looking in, it's a beautiful culture.
Well, everybody today, because of the cell phone, everybody's a photographer now,
Well,
a
yeah.
professional one because of digital. But I mean, to put in all that work
Hmm.
to shoot other people's cars, events, and that was our lifeline, car shows,
Right.
besides the
Right.
magazine back then. So they are
Right.
important. There isn't too many websites, or there are not too many places, libraries like you have,
Right.
where you can go back and look up a show from all the way back in from Ventura. You went through Fresno, you've gone to Arizona, San Diego, Isaiah Festival, um,
Southgate,
the Imperials car show there,
Imperials.
in
Yep.
Southgate. You
Yep.
have everybody's on there, and they're all great times. And
Hmm.
they go by year, and you just keep on going. And some of them are
Right.
returns, they're annual. But usually on this show, everybody, we start off with, well, how did you get into this?
Right.
What was a drug you took and you need to score? So what was your influence with, where did you
Well,
see a low rider, somebody in your family? But you know what?
mhm.
Let's first start off with how did you just get in, and why did you get into photography?
Okay. For on the photography side, I've been in lowriding since in early '80s, '82. Um, I took a little hiatus after about 4 or 5 years. Why I couldn't even tell you. But then the lens photography caught my attention, and then I started going to car shows. I did one car show, and then before you know it, I see the same people that I had seen 5, 6, 7 years earlier. So that's the part I enjoyed, hanging out, the camaraderie, the family, and just going on to the next car show, to the next one, to the next one. And like I said, it's a beautiful. I don't even want to say a job. It's not even a job for me. It's a pleasure.
Thousands of the same faces all the time,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
annually,
Yep.
just like a rerun, like a
Oh
time
yeah.
machine.
Yeah. Cars are the same, but the cars they change.
They do
They
change,
do
and you see
change.
their latest build and everything.
Exactly. And some of these pictures I have on the site, you'll see it from sometimes 5 years later, and someone added something else, patterns or a mural or Condola kit. And that's the beauty of it, because it's like it's archived.
So for all the audience right now, you have your phones out there, your laptops. They're
Mhm.
going to go to onebadpup.com
Right.
and they're going to check out all your work, and it
Yeah.
dates way back,
Right.
all
Exactly.
archived.
Oh yeah.
And you have a lot more photos than just that to go back up and
Or exactly.
continue filling.
Exactly. Like I said, back in the days, it took a long time to upload these pictures, and I still have boxes and boxes of them. And like I said, one of these days when I get a lot of free time, I'll throw them back up there from the older days, from the older years. You know.
But Alex, you got like 400 or 500 events in that whole time. I know Ricardo from Oldies,
Hmm.
we always go back and forth with his little conversation that he's had, that
Hmm.
he's gone to every car show there is.
Hmm.
If it was every weekend, he was there.
Right.
And that's a lot of mileage. That's a lot of
Hmm.
time.
Hmm.
That's a lot of sacrifice. And then I've been to a lot of car shows myself in my lifetime,
Right.
but
Right.
I've missed a lot of them too. I
Right.
do regret missing those car shows. When we can go back and look up to see what you have, we can go back there. If not, you have to go back to an old magazine and see
Right.
what was going on there. There
Right.
weren't too many videos and all that, but those were innocent times, and those were great times too. It's always looking you up to look at your history and everything. I
Hmm.
went through some of those shows, and instead of, getting my homework together for this video episode, I have just fell into a couple car shows there, and I started reminiscing. Man, I remember
Right.
this, that car when this car broke out, that one. A
Hmm.
lot of orange 65 Chevys were all
Hmm.
over the place everywhere
Yep.
you went. But you see the different styles
Hmm.
in from what the cities I just mentioned all the way to
Right.
Arizona, the
Right.
different styles of car and their top cars too.
Yeah, and the way of automobiles have progressed, the chrome undercarriage, chrome engines, it's all progressed for the last, 30 years. It's like a work of art now. It's artwork. That's what it is.
It used to be paint, then paint and interior as the
Yeah.
years went by.
Your rims.
Then it was the engine
Mm-hmm.
compartment.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was the undercarriage,
Right.
and then everybody went frame off, and undercarriage and frame became first before the paint jobs now,
Right.
so to speak.
Right.
And the paint jobs, they're more, everything's just so much more expensive. It's hard to build them
Right.
compared to those days, but it was expensive back then.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's rare. I mean, 40 years ago, how many frame offs were there? Not very many. You can count on your hand, maybe.
So stories of people who have came and went are probably not
Hmm.
around anymore,
Oh yeah.
going
Oh
way
yeah.
back then until
Yeah.
now. When you don't see a familiar face, well, they missed a
Right.
show.
Right.
Catch them next year if they're not there
Right.
again. Some of them just get out of it. It's too expensive, or they
Right.
got to take care of their family, or
Right.
some just pass on.
Right. And that's the sad part is passing on. We were talking earlier about the COVID years, and
Right.
we've lost so many good people during that time. Um, a lot of respect to the icons that had passed away because they were older, and COVID took away a lot of people from us.
We forget it. There was a time we thought it would never go away, that
Right.
this was the way we're going to live for the rest
Right.
of our lives,
Right.
looking out our garage
Right.
and people with
Yeah. And
masks.
hibernating and staying
And
inside, and
if anything could ever kill and end low riding,
yeah.
this was probably it, because people didn't work. People had to sell their cars.
Right.
No, actually, it was the opposite. The car value and the parts went
So,
sky
yeah, they
high.
did. Yeah, you did.
Then finally, when the shows came out, the attendance tripled.
Mm-hmm.
But and it was over, and we just take things for granted. But those
Right.
times were very serious. I know
Yeah.
when I was doing Lowrider Garage back then,
Mm-hmm.
I traveled all over the Central Valley, and no one wore masks.
Right.
Nobody really caught it that way.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
everywhere else, I lost a few club members, their family. I mean, we all lost somebody
Right.
important.
Right.
And then, like they say, life goes on. But something about COVID, we can never
Right.
ever let go. And the good thing about it, what we were talking about, is
Mm-hmm.
you guys would do
Yeah.
cruises out there. This is
Yes,
all
we
in
did.
Ventura, right?
Yes, we
By
did.
the ocean.
Yep. So me, another friend, a good friend of mine, John Martinez, Fantasy Life.
Right.
We did our first cruise for his grandson, and we must have had 5 or 6 cars. And then after that,
So what do you mean by you did a cruise for his grandson? So it's
it was
COVID.
his birthday.
Okay.
It was his birthday, and of course, we couldn't throw him any parties. There was no
Right.
birthday parties. We had to, pretty much stay quarantined. So we said, "Why don't we just do a little birthday cruise for him?" and just drive by the house and say hi and maybe give them a present, you know, still wearing masks.
Right.
So we did one. And then after that, we said, let's do another one. And then we did more and more. And eventually it caught on. All the car clubs from Ventura County, Switch, City Life,
I'll
La
jump in one
Gente,
big caravan.
Cruisers, everybody was invited. And we had a scheduler, his name was Robin and David Medina, and they would do the scheduling. And people would call him up and say, hey, I got little Timmy wants a little cruise by for his birthday. And so we scheduled, you know, 8 or 9 cruises on the same day. And that was our thing
How many
every
cars
week.
were rolling together in this
Oh, we
caravan?
must have had about 20 cars rolling at
Two traffic
minimum.
cops didn't
And that
bother
was the
you guys?
thing. The traffic cops once in a while they'd stop traffic and they'd let us go.
Oh,
They knew
awesome.
what we were doing, and
Yeah.
I give props to the OPD for
Yeah.
letting us do that. You know, they would block off traffic, and they knew why we were doing it, and they gave their hats off to us. I'll give props to the OPD for that. You know, but that's what we did for about a year and a half. Because there was in Ventura County, the shows, nobody was doing shows.
Nobody was doing anything.
Nobody was doing anything.
We're all locked up.
We had to stay inside, but nobody could told us we couldn't drive, and that's what we did. And we called ourselves the COVID Cruise family because that's what we were. And like I said, all the car clubs from Ventura County, Jay joined in at some time or another. But that was the best thing that came out of COVID.
Do you ever go around living out that way wherever you go to shows, picnics, barbecues, and things like that? You ever do these people or families or friends remember those cruises and come
Oh
up to
yeah.
you?
Oh, we
Thanks.
talk about
That
it all
meant a
the
lot
time.
to us.
We
It got
talk.
us through.
It got all the car clubs closer to each other, because I'm not going to say before that, but even older years, when you're in a club, you stuck with your club. You know, you hung out with somebody else in another club. They said, why are you hanging out with him for? This is your club. But that COVID Cruise family, that got everybody together. Club name, solo riders, everybody got together. Now we knew each other a lot better. We knew each other before that, you know, first name basis. But after that, those cruises for a year and a half, everybody got a lot tighter. That was a good thing. That was the best thing that came out of COVID, in my opinion.
I did a lowrider garage.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, we actually did a show, sanctioned a show up there at the Call Palace in San Francisco. And I was walking around and I grabbed my cell phone, like always, with a little small tripod and walked around and started videotaping all the cars. And I'll never forget, there was a young girl there that shouted at me. She goes, thank you for all you do and what you're doing. Because, you know, it was dangerous to get out there.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
in
yeah.
Palas, I had 200-300 people drinking beers with them,
Yeah.
exchanging tamale recipes and all that, no masks.
Right.
And, you know, you have to go and quarantine yourself for 3 days, not knowing if you caught anything.
Right.
But I'll never forget, she said, you know, I almost died on my bed. I gave up on life. I thought it was over.
Wow.
But I made sure that I was ready to go. I would try to make it to the next Friday so you had another show just to be there. And that kept on going me. And that's why I'm here. And it's like, damn.
Right. Wow.
But I mean, there's lots of stories like that with a lot of us that went out and did things during those times that kept us alive, that kept us doing the same rituals that we do every day. That's how we kind of fought that disease, right? So you've been taking photographs since then, and you've met all these people, like you said. Hey, everyone. Before we get back to our episode, we want to give a shout out to one of our proud sponsors, Power Master Performance. One of the most important parts under the hood of your lowrider is the alternator. The key to selecting an alternator is to make sure its output meets and exceeds the electrical needs on your ride, especially at idle. For instance, if you have an electric fan, electric fuel pump, big amps, airbag compressors, you're already looking at over 100 amps. And that's not counting the ignition, exterior lighting, or air conditioning. The other important part is to understand that the alternator must be capable of supporting those electronics at lower RPMs while idling or cruising in traffic. Plus, it's available in chrome, polished, black, and natural housing for single V-belt and serpentine belt systems. For more information about PowerMaster's HPR series, just go to powermasterperformance.com. How did you get into lowriding? Because that's where it really all started.
Yeah, I must have been 9, 10 years old. My sister had a 72 Monte Carlo. one time she goes, "Hey, I don't want to drive by myself. You go with me." And I'm a 10-year-old kid. I'm like, "All right, I'll go with you." And back in the days in Oxnard, Cooper Road was the main strip, the main cruise spot. So we're taking a little cruise down, Cooper Road, and I'm looking around and I'm seeing all these nice cars, and that was back in the days when La Gente and East Side Classics were going pretty good, and they were all parked. And I go, man, I want to be like these guys right here. That's took that spark, that started the spark in me. And then of course, maybe 7, 8, 10 years later, in '82, that's when I joined Latin Lords, Ventura County chapter, and was president for a couple years.
3 chapters in.
That was 3 chapters. Yeah,
Joe
had Joe
Joe
with
runs East LA.
East LA, and then
The Latin Lords.
Randy Maciel, he ran the San Fernando chapter, and then I ran the chapter here in Ventura County for a couple years. But those are beautiful memories, great memories.
Are they still around?
They're still around. Oh yeah.
Good.
Oh, they're still around. Yeah. Yeah. They're going pretty good right now.
That was an iconic name back in the days,
Yes.
especially in East LA.
Yes. Yes.
So that's how you got into. What was your first car?
My first car was a 77 LTD. Next one was a 74 LTD. And like I said, these LTDs, they just fall in my lap. I don't know. I'm not even looking for them. And they
Usually you buy a 74 and then you upgrade to the 77 because they get newer, but you went back
I
a
went
little
backwards.
bit.
Yeah,
They're
I went
both
backwards.
badass cars.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And now they're
both the
rare.
baddest.
They're pretty rare nowadays.
It's hard to find any parts, especially
70,
for the
Yeah.
what is it, the 75, 6, and 7, and
Mhm.
8.
Yeah.
It's hard to find weather stripping, moldings, all
Yeah.
that stuff for those
And
cars.
and that's the thing with lowriding nowadays, the 70s decade, it's you don't see that many cars, that many. It's like a dying decade.
And it's too bad because everybody traded in their glass houses for the LTDs.
Yeah.
What do you drive now?
71 LTD, convertible.
Oh, Clint Eastwood style.
Clint Eastwood, yeah.
Dirty Harry.
Yep. Found it.
You know, there
yeah.
were a few. The Click used to have them. We had a couple of them. There was just something about that long nose on them.
Yeah.
We had a few that Baca had painted multicolors in blue magic. Eddie, may rest in
Mhm.
peace. I thought that car was one of the baddest paint jobs and cars. There was just something about those LTDs.
Right.
You don't see them period anymore, let alone
Like I said, they're
the
rare.
73, 74s you hardly
Right.
see.
Hardly. No,
Yeah,
hardly.
I don't get that at all. And there,
I'm
if
still
you
trying to
bring one
understand it.
out, you don't even know if it fits in the realm
Right.
of low riding now.
Right.
If those designs are accepted, it's kind of
Right.
weird about those cars. But they
Well,
were top of the line
oh yeah.
luxury,
Yeah.
especially at that
They
time.
were daily drivers back in the days.
But a convertible too, man. I've seen a
Yeah.
few of those.
And those, they only made 5,700 of them that year.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell you how many are around anymore.
How long have you had that?
Oh, about 3 years, 3, 4 years. Yeah. Yeah.
So being from Latin Lords, you knew all the different car clubs back then
Oh
that
yeah.
started way back then.
Oh
But
yeah.
being a photographer, you locked in with all the different car clubs.
Oh yeah,
So you
exactly.
became neutral with everybody.
Exactly. And that's the way I am now. I'm driving solo, but I know everybody from all the car clubs, even LA, they give me a come on, hang out with us, sit with us.
I want to get on his I
Oh
want to get
yeah.
on his database to ask you,
Yeah.
can you take a picture of us by the
Yeah.
car?
Oh yeah, all the
Because they
time.
want to have it up there on the
All the
website,
time.
of
And
course.
I will never turn down a photo op if somebody asks for it. Never, never, never.
Having a lowrider makes you different from all other photographers, though, because there's a lot of photographers out there that
Mhm.
shoot that don't really have the cars and don't understand what they really mean, the inside and outs of lowriders, the designs here makes and models, right? That you got to
Right,
capture the right angles.
right,
Um, Photographers back then, a lot of them have gone. You don't see them anymore, hardly
right,
anymore. There's a lot of up and coming ones today.
right,
It's way different, of course. You've seen that
right.
with all the different photographers. They come up to you and ask you, all the new school, they come up and ask you for tips or
Yeah.
respect you that you've been there longer and went through all the rough
Oh yeah.
times.
And that's the one thing is the respect. And I give all these new photographers props because I've been respected. And I don't even ask for it. I just do what I love doing. But the newer generation, they're getting there.
Yeah.
To give it time, they'll get there. They'll get
It's a lot easier for them now. The camera, the iPhone does everything for you.
yeah. Yeah, the actually, the lens has changed.
Yeah,
That's what it
exactly. The
is.
newer
The
ones, yeah,
lens
they're
changed.
ridiculous.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I remember my first shows, I was using an old 35 millimeter camera with film and turning them into Target, my film, and you'd have to wait a week. And I'm like, a kid waiting for, a Christmas present and finally get my pictures and scan them and upload them. And it was fun. It was fun.
Doing all of that back then, what was it like to get in the show? You were always welcome. You could get in free. You had
Yeah.
your camera.
Yeah.
They know you were there to cover the show, and you're
Right.
going to probably put it up on a website for them. It
Exactly.
was different back then. Yes, please come in. Please take pictures of our show because,
Exactly. And
or you have to hire a photographer and do all of
right.
that.
Right.
But in the beginning, I guess it was accepted. No, please come in.
Yeah.
You didn't have to pay for a
Well,
ticket to get in or anything like that.
well,
You were
no,
more than welcome.
that was the one thing I always paid to get in. I never said, "Hey, look at me. I'm important. You guys need me." No, it's the other way around. We all need each other. Without lowriders, there's no photography. Well, lowrider photography, and it works both ways. You know,
Oh, it does.
yeah, works
Things
both
are
ways.
way different now,
Yeah. Oh
to
yeah.
the point where even when we used to do some of our shows back in
Right.
the days,
Right.
we wouldn't allow any photographers to come into the shows because, I mean, we had our own staff, we
Yeah.
had our website,
Right.
we had to capture everything before everybody.
Right.
We worked hard, and it wasn't fair for any photographers outside to come in and steal the thunder
Hmm.
and for nothing. We do all that
Right.
hard work for months and months and promote the show,
Right.
annual shows, and these guys would come in and then just shoot it and they'd have it online already and it was
Right.
done.
Right.
And it hurts your crowd. Well, I don't have to go to the show. I'm going to see it right now.
Yeah.
Watch. And we used to fight that a little bit and let them
Hmm.
come in the next morning early. But that was funny. And then after when the cell phone came into play, it was like, how are we going to control all of that? It is what it
Right.
is.
Yeah.
There was no more policing that situation.
Right.
Those things changed. Did you have to pay certain car show promoters a
Um,
fee for a
no,
pass to get in?
never,
Never did?
never had to pay. Like I said, I always just paid for spectator admission. And basically I was a spectator who took pictures. But the difference between me, I'm not making money, doing what I do. I do it for the passion and love of the game.
Yeah,
That's
see, and a
that's
lot
what
of
I do.
that's the difference between you and other photographers. They're
Right.
building their website, they're building their name and everything else out there
Right. And
for
they're
free.
trademarking. Well, well, more props to everybody else.
Yeah.
They want to sell T-shirts or posters or whatever. That's there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's the business they choose. But me, I'm more like a documentarian. I like to document everything. I like to put everything in the archives for you to see 10 years from now.
But
That's
yeah.
what I plan on doing.
So
Hopefully, I
you're
can
not
keep
one of those
going.
guys. "Oh, I need a media pass.
Yeah. No.
$250 is like,
Yeah.
how you I thought about that,
Yep.
and they'll pay it. They'll pay it. There's just too many of them. You got to control it. And they come in with a couple of their models.
Right.
And that's another thing we should talk about. And then you're going to let in 3, 4 people. And I got this guy, he's carrying around my equipment. And the
Hmm.
next thing you know,
Yeah.
well, 4 or 5 tickets, 250 is not that bad. But when you face them and tell them you have to give us 250 and they just look at you, you can't do that to anybody.
Right.
And it's just like at the end,
No,
I
I
would always
agree.
cave in. I don't know about charging 250. I was weak on that, but I would just say, you know what? Just buy a ticket. How about that?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm even across the board. And
Right.
yeah, that's all. Yeah, yeah. And that's the way it was.
Yeah. Like I said, buy a ticket, have fun at the show. You're going to see a live concert. What more can you ask for?
Yeah, they would come back. They would come back to me. Where's my media pass? And it's just like, for what? You're already in. Yeah, but I need media to go do this and that. I go,
Yeah.
you have a camera. The people here, they're going to let you come in over the ropes and take a picture of the car. But
Right.
what about on stage? You ain't going up on
Yeah.
stage.
That's up to
That's
you.
why we have security and anything can happen. And,
Yeah. And that's why
we have a staff to do.
you have Zoom.
Yeah,
Zoom in.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, that was important too, man.
Right. Right.
Everybody's important in the car shows all the way through, you name it,
Right.
all the way up.
Right.
Through through your lens, going back into the days, seeing what low riding was all about then,
Hmm.
and the same lens or the better lens that you have
The better
now.
lenses now. Yeah.
low riding's changed a whole
It
lot,
has changed. Yeah, it
a
has
whole lot.
changed. Yep.
I mean, basically the paint jobs are blam, no matter what. The
Mhm.
technology, innovation,
Right.
the colors that take over a whole car. I could say some of those colors were just they were better
Mhm.
back then than now.
Mhm.
But I mean,
The
the
displays.
artwork, the displays are
Displays.
ridiculous. There's more chrome. There's more put into a 20 by 20 space than ever before. 20
Mhm.
by 20 space in those old days,
Right.
there were two cars in there. Now you have
Yeah.
one car, they need 30 feet space. What's your observation of the whole deal since 1999 through that lens to the lens now about how low riding has changed?
Well, I think lowriding has changed. It's more, like I said, these are works of art now. Everybody's putting their heart and soul to make masterpieces, and there's like I said, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm more into the everyday cruisers. You know, the camaraderie, the barbecues, the cruise nights, everything else that has to do with lowriding. Lowriding is just not about a super show. There's a way more than that. You know, like I
There's more
said,
than just the cars
it's more
you're
than just the cars.
photographing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually getting, the people behind the cars, the families, and now that I do more video now, and I like to capture, if you've noticed in some of my videos, I do the trophy presentations. I pan around and get a lot of people, because people are part of the show. They build the show, getting people there. So yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah,
got 600 cars in there and you got 6,000 people or
right,
16,000 people.
yeah,
That's why those cars are in there.
yep,
And those people wouldn't be there without the cars, vice
right,
versa. But you have the vendor booth.
right,
You have
yeah,
everybody. I don't want to bring in the venues because they're the ones that make all the money,
hmm,
but that puts this whole puzzle together.
right,
That defines what a car show is really all about.
right,
I like going back and looking at your times way back, and there's a lot of them. I mean, I can, if I'm not going to name 500 of them right now,
mhm,
but there were innocent times. There were a few pictures in there. I started scrolling around. You had models in there taking pictures by the cars, and I
right,
started going through there. And okay, that was then. There were a lot more clothes on then, and I just kept on scrolling down. Got into 2017,
yeah,
checked out a few rides, and then looked at the models that were posing then.
mhm,
I was already a lowrider, so I had to deal with that
right,
6 times
right,
in one issue, right? And I went through all that, and all the top cars and the models that were going for lowrider back then, they would be there at the show. And I saw it, and it wasn't as bad as it became a few years ago, where the girls just had no more self-respect or self-esteem. They didn't care how they looked.
and especially when you want it to be a family show, when you want to bring your kid and your wife
Well,
to the
that's why
show.
I got criticized for that.
Yeah,
I got criticized because I tried to clean that up.
mhm,
It just dress appropriately.
right,
All women, especially Latina women, are beautiful.
mhm,
Sometimes even the more clothes they have on, they're even more beautiful. You don't have to take that much off, but I
right,
understand the attention. But you can only go so far before it's like, what did we turn this into?
right,
I had arguments with people. Well, you go to the beach, they're in bikinis. Have you ever gone to the beach? I go, this is a car show.
yeah,
Yeah, well, kids are there
yeah.
too. And
There's
it's
no
like,
sun, and yeah, going through the roof.
but
Yeah,
this is our future, man.
right,
I mean, you got kids,
yeah,
skateboards, bikes,
yeah,
traditions now, the family, the mothers, the wives,
mhm,
the whole thing about low riding now, the word culture that is overused a
right,
million times a day.
right,
Um, you can't destroy that by the way some of these girls have to get out there. If you need attention to take off that many clothes, then you shouldn't be out there in the beginning
right,
in the first
right.
place. But yeah, we have to clean ourselves up
Yeah,
because everybody watches us, and sometimes we're degrading ourselves, whatever our nationalities may be. Don't do that.
right. I think lately, the last few years, maybe after COVID, they've been a lot tasteful. They've been more tasteful. I'm,
Well, it depends where you're going.
I guess it
I
depends.
see
Yeah,
the last couple of years it got out of hand. It's cleaned up more now because a lot of people are stopping it, and
right,
but a mother won't let their kids go to the show or things like that.
right,
But yeah, things have changed. They've changed a whole lot now the lifestyle is more of a tradition now, low
right,
riding.
right.
Um, you're going to continue doing this for how much
Oh,
longer?
until my feet stop hurting me, or they start hurting me. I mean, I do a lot of walking around, but like I said,
It
it's
keeps you
fun.
in shape though,
Keeps me
right?
in shape. Yeah, yeah. And not just to get back to like the shows, like the last few years, I like to support the high schools, the grammar schools, fundraisers. Those are the events I like to support. It helps the education, the kids, the softball teams, baseball teams. Those kids need a lot of help, and sometimes these car shows they generate a lot of revenue for them, and that's the ones I like to pick and choose now.
That's good though, man, because that's what it takes to get them involved, learn the responsibilities,
Right,
what it takes to have something like that, and
right,
then it keeps them out of trouble.
right, right.
How do you see though, through that lens, how do you see low riding going on from here? What do you
Well,
expect it? Because
the the, tech
it changed in
the
30
the
years.
technology is getting way better. You can take a picture and it'll be online in 3 seconds. And like I said, it's a beautiful thing. It's a lot easier. Even me, don't get me wrong. I do the same thing. I can take a video and it'll be on Instagram in 10 seconds. Makes it a lot easier. It's a lot easier to do. Um, but like I said, the hard work that a lot of the older photographers have done, even before me,
Mhm.
I respect that. Respect it highly because they put in a lot of time and a lot of work and effort. You know.
You have a pretty cool car, man.
Thank you, thank
The
you,
convertible LTD that you
thank you.
have, and you're out there in the beach area,
Yeah,
and you've seen low riding for 40 years at least, right?
right.
Um, you jump in that car and you're driving around certain spots out there. The ocean's right there, the breeze, the whole
Oh
thing.
man, let me tell you. Yep.
Um, how do you decide to just let go of the steering wheel and pull out your camera? Are there times you just say, you know what?
Yep.
I think I'm just going to be a lowrider this weekend and put the camera away
Nope.
maybe next weekend?
Nope. And seeing there's a difference between me having a car and shooting pictures.
Hmm.
I got to wake up in the morning, got to clean my rims, got to dust it all off, do the interior, clean my windows, and get my camera ready. And then when I come into the show, it's like, I like to do a lot of roll-ins now, but that's kind of the difference. Sometimes it takes me a lot more to get ready for a show because, like I said, I got to get my car done and I got to get my equipment ready too. But I still love it. I love doing what I do.
Photographers that are out there today, do you have any mentors that are out there or any photographers that you could look at their work and put it up there as a challenge or a goal that, what photographers out there, freelancers, or even the ones that worked at the magazine or that are local, what names of photographers today would you like to give credit to?
Well, I don't want to say
Who are
credit, but
your all
I'll
stars?
say the up and coming
Yeah.
lowriders,
Uh-huh.
and hey, I'm giving you some props. Is Search Flakes, good guy, good guy. And if you see some of his videos,
Hmm.
um, you'll be blown away. But see, like I said, I'm more of a documentarian,
Right.
but he's got the top notch if video effects and all that. Yeah, one of
Wow.
the big up and coming guys.
Anybody else out there? Any of the lowrider guys back on staff way back in the days? Dick
Wow,
DeLoach.
man, I know. I used to look at a lot of Porky Duran's
Okay.
pictures he
Yeah.
used to take. Porky was I used to look up to him all the time. But yeah, the amazing guys. These guys are amazing, and some of them rest in peace, but yeah. Mm.
It's just something in him. It's like a guy, if I get into music, that plays a guitar and he's singing as he's pulling the strings. It's coming out of his facial
Mhm.
expression. There are photographers like that. Whether you get on a ladder or you lay down flat on the floor,
Mhm.
whatever angle it is to be different that they've got to shoot to be
Right.
not to be different. Sometimes they're just those.
Yeah, or
And
gimmicks.
there's always been Elliot Gilbert way back in the days was a
Mhm.
great
Mhm.
photographer for lowrider.
Mhm.
And if you had a certain car, you wanted your car to look the
Right.
best.
Right.
And Beto Mendoza is not too
Mhm.
far from you.
Oh, another guy too.
You
Just
another
on his mate. I'm sorry to interrupt, but Richard Palos.
Richard
Yeah,
Paulos.
Richard Palos. I knew him for a while. I haven't seen him lately, but I used to look up to him. You know, he was doing Street Law, I think, Street Law
Yeah,
magazine. Yeah, but he was another guy I kind of looked up to.
that's cool, man. But that you are right. When we first started the show, it's like there are some pictures that are taken of certain cars that you have to take a step back and say, wow, is that really my car?
Right,
And then when you look at your car, even on that angle, it didn't look as good.
right,
It's just those certain
right.
pictures capture that time
Yep,
and it makes your car look like nothing can compare to it.
right. Well,
And it's
see,
all because of the photographers.
yeah, and a lot of time too, it's indoor. The lighting indoor, that place, that's huge. That's indoor lighting is huge. Even outdoor, on sunny days,
Explain if I
it
was
brings the colors out.
if I'm a novice, I probably still am,
Mm.
but I get lucky with my own cell phone. But what is it with the sun when it's straight up at 12 o'clock in the shadows?
Yes,
Where are you
you
supposed to
nailed it.
shoot at? To the left,
You
to the
nailed it.
right, on this side? Overcast, it's not good to shoot on
Nope.
overcast days. It's not good to shoot a car when there's a telephone pole right here. You can move the
Right,
car up, right?
right. Yep.
I saw all that
You
stuff.
nailed it. You know.
Well, I didn't get nailed. They got nailed.
Yeah.
My boss had to nail some of our photographers. Oh, you couldn't move the car forward.
Yeah.
That always happened.
Yeah. Shadows is huge. You know, you don't want to start taking pictures early in the morning unless your shadow's out of it. But high noon when the sun's up, and then when the sun's up, because sometimes some days you get overcast in the morning, and I'll go around and shoot all morning, take video all morning, and then about noon the sun comes out, and I'm like, son of a,
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to do this all over again or
Yeah, I know. I understand the
yeah,
weather there in the
yeah,
morning. It's
yep.
all overcast
It's
and
overcast.
boom.
But you want to get started early. You know, you got that itch. You want to get going. You know,
That's cool.
yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
You have any shout outs, any mentors that you would like to give thanks to?
Well, I know there's a lot of people in the Lorena community that we've lost. You know, one mentor I had was Mr. Benny Del Rio. He passed. One of my good friends. I mean, we grew up with Chaka. You know, Ruben. He passed. He was with La Gente, and oh, there's just too many people that I had friends and looked up to that were huge in the low riding community. You know, yeah, just too many to name right now.
Yeah, you can go back to
Oh
Ventura.
my
What
God.
do you think? What, knowing the culture that's out there, the history of low riding in Ventura, when did that all get going? As far back as you can hear all the stories.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Because lowriders at the beach, come on.
Yeah. Oh no. That's why I was born and raised in Oxnard,
Uh-huh.
and I've traveled. I've been other places, but believe me, Ventura County, the weather, the beach. You know, sometimes we take advantage that, you know, how often do we go in the water? I haven't been in the water in years,
Wow.
you know, but the beach community, it's beautiful. You know, the sunsets, the background for taking pictures.
You get invited to do quinceañeras and weddings,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
do
I
that
do a
too?
couple of those, yeah, on the side, you
Well,
know.
you get paid there,
Friend,
though. That's
I
for
get
sure.
paid. No, I didn't want to tell you. I'm cutting myself too short,
Yeah.
you know. But the photographers and videographers for weddings, and man, it's way up there. Uh, you know, I don't mean to offend any of these wedding photographers, but I don't know. I can't justify that much money they're getting paid for taking a picture and printing out an 8x10. Maybe I'll get some phone calls and they'll tell me why. But you know, like I said, I've done the same thing, and my pictures come out the same as theirs, and a fraction of the cost.
Last but not least, I always get asked, um, my son wants to be a photographer. He's getting
Hmm.
into it.
Hmm.
Or, even back in days when I was a magazine, my daughter is a photographer, Joe.
Right,
She's going to come at you pretty soon. You're going to have to hire her on,
right,
as a freelancer.
right,
And do you have any tips? So everywhere I went, because I was editor, I would get asked that
right,
question to this day. And when I see young photographers, I always go up there and I give them advice.
right,
Look at a magazine,
right,
try to be different in that angle.
right.
Don't
Yeah,
be afraid to go up or don't be afraid to lay down. Try something different.
right.
Every car looks better from the front. Some cars look better from the back, depending on the
Yep,
tail
on the body
lights.
styles. Yeah.
You can always get that 3/4 angle, which everybody does.
Hmm.
Um, but every car has a different style to it where it's either that 3/4 from the rear or the front or way up above. It's going to look its best and it brings out its true design.
Right.
But you just got to be different. And
Yeah.
each one is a work of art, each photo that you take. And it lives on forever.
Yes,
And the
exactly.
day that one owner can come on and say, wow, that was my car. You took that picture. I never knew that my car could look like that because we just clean them, step back and look at them.
Right,
But
exactly.
we never see them on the angles that a photographer
Right, from a
would,
different
right?
eyes point of view. Yeah,
What
exactly.
would be your advice to anybody out there that's out there shooting now? What would be your advice to the newcomers?
Yeah, pick your own style. Don't, like you said, don't look at, you can look at a magazine and this and that, but pick your own style. Do some close-ups, do some zooms out, up, down low, but pick your own style. That's the best advice I can give. Pick your own style. Be
Just
different. Be different.
don't shoot no Mustangs or 4x. Just shoot lowriders. They have all the beauty, all the colors, everything's there.
Right,
They're still
right,
vibrant.
right. And candid shots. Don't be afraid to take candid shot because sometimes you go to a car show and you're waiting for somebody to keep walking by and you just wait and wait. And sometimes you take a candid shot and those are the best shots.
How much film do you go through at any
Um,
given event?
well, film no more,
Well, I
but
mean,
yeah,
but back in the days, how many?
back in the days, oh my God, rolls after rolls after rolls.
Yeah, they try
Yeah.
to send us everything. I
Oh
go,
my
no, it
God.
just gives you 30, your select few.
I think back in the day there was like 28 pictures per roll.
Yeah,
And I'd maybe take 150 pictures.
yeah, there you
So
go.
yeah, do the math and yeah.
That was
Yep.
Jay Bueno and everybody else we
Back in
had
those
back
days,
then.
yep. Oh
Rest in
yeah.
peace, Jay.
Yep. Yeah. Yes.
Well, here we go then. So how do we get a hold of you?
OneBatPup.com. That's the website. Instagram, AC Navarro 805, One Bat Pup. YouTube, One Bat Pup. Videos, videos on YouTube, older pictures on the website, and Instagram, more like short videos. I do the short videos on Instagram. But like I said, it's beautiful. I love doing what I do.
Well, there you go, everybody. Alex Navarro, One Bad Pup. Check out his website. That database goes way back, almost 30 years ago. He's doing it since way before then. If you don't check it out, look for the man because he's going to come to a car show near you eventually. If he's got 500 of them out there, he'll be at one of them.
Yeah.
Have the guy take a picture. Hopefully you got a car out there. I know the car shows are kind of slowing down because they're getting too expensive just as well now. But it'll be good to go to the next show and hopefully catch you
yeah.
there working.
Yeah. Yeah. And I tell people, not just in our county, but don't be afraid to drive out of town. Go support, other places, other schools, other events. Don't just be stagnant. Take a trip, have some fun.
Have some fun checking out the different styles, even
Yep.
from Fresno all the way to San Diego
Yep.
and to Arizona.
Yeah, have
They're
fun.
built just a little bit different, and you get everybody's expression and personality,
Exactly.
right?
Yep. Yeah.
There you go, everybody. All the way out from Ventura County, out there by the beach, LTD, Clint Eastwood style, Dirty Harry, convertible. But rather than cleaning his wire wheels and cruising, he'll pick up the camera and shoot a whole lot more lowriders. Thanks for being on the show with us.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
Don't forget, everybody, don't forget to like, comment, and follow. This is another episode of the Wired Down Show. Catch you next Friday.